Let the record show Mike does not respect people's traumas that they deal with. After what age is your trauma no longer your parents' fault or anybody else's fault? It's yours.
30.
30.
Between 30 and 35, you got to get it together.
So it just don't even matter.
No, it matters.
But
you gotta do something. You know, like we talked about before the pod. You stand out in the rain, you can't just be like, man, it's wet out here. You got to do something, right? You got to either bring out an umbrella, you got to take yourself inside. You have to do something now, and then not only that, right? So let's use that analogy: being out in the rain in a thunderstorm. There's things that you could do that'll keep you from getting wet that could still be detrimental to your health, right? Like if we're on the golf course and it starts thunder and lightning, we know to go directly back to the center, right? You don't go into a tree because if you go into a tree, you're more likely to get struck by lightning than you would just standing out. So when you have trauma, you have to do something, right? But then you also got to make the right decision. So if you have traumas and then the way that you respond to your traumas is now you're aggressive, you get in fights, you have bad, you got poor sexual management skills. Well, yeah, you are doing something, right? But you're standing under a tree in a lightning storm. You need to do something whereas you got to get to a home base to your trauma. So like when y'all are 30 plus and y'all telling me something that your mama did to you, your daddy did to you, I do look at you like you're stupid. Now, like I said, sociologists would disagree with me. Psychologists would probably say I'm wrong, but I'm neither. I'm a citizen out here in the world, and I don't want to see grown people not doing things to make themselves better.
Which is funny that you said that because I didn't tell you this part. So, last week I was looking at a couple of people who I follow, and they're going through it. And I think me and Laws had this conversation all the time. Like, people are really going through it on social media because they're living these fake lives online. And when people are not picking up on it, they do get depressed. Me and Laws always give you credit. And I mean, I don't mean to give it to you on air, but we always give you credit about the whole, like, this generation is, or the millennials are like narcissists.
Yeah, it's narcissistic and depressed. And
it's interesting because you see it in real time. I'm literally watching it. But the point is, I had made a tweet and I was like, nothing is worse than expecting people to know your traumas versus you dealing with your traumas.
Yeah.
Because when I look, I don't know how y'all out here dating. Because it's like when you meet someone and their trauma and they deal with trauma, bruh, and you don't know it because you don't know this person. And then, with social media, you're trying to figure out if this is really them online or if this is really them that you're speaking
It's not
to.
them. It's a character. It's who they wish they were.
Yeah.
And these relationships, I mean, they be weird because I can't, like, when I see people and they out and then, like, they don't talk to their significant other, they don't communicate. I feel bad for them because I'm like, man, that's not a real relationship. That shit's trauma bonding, if we're being honest. Like, it's just two people dealing with the same traumas and they're like, well, if we deal with it together, we don't have to deal with it in the world or anyone else. And I mean, I really do feel bad for them. I do.
Absolutely. Look, we say this all the time. Y'all just like to say it. Well, they don't even say it no more in 2022. Go to therapy.
Well, yeah, I mean, go to therapy or at least start reading. Like, I'm not even trying to tell you like to go to therapy because it's such a moniker, like, oh yeah, just go to therapy, right? 7 out of 100 black men go to therapy. 10 out of 100 black women go to therapy, right? So nobody's fucking going to therapy. So I'm not even gonna say it no more because nobody goes, right? But it's said as an insult now, right? Ooh, you need to go to therapy. Well, like, no shit, right? Like, if I got a broken fucking arm, you see that motherfucker flailing everywhere, you be like, oh, you need to go to the hospital. Well, no shit, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Help me,
Yo, shout out to the sister on Facebook who, when I told her, I believe that I was talking to her about how I believe photographers should get paid for models, quote unquote models, right? And she looked at me, she goes, yo, I think you should get checked for mental health, for your mental health. And we was going back and forth. And I told her, I said, what's funny is because of my beliefs, as a black man, if I would tell you, a black woman, you should go to therapy because you believe that you deserve to get paid, you would cancel my whole damn business. Shorty then deleted her comments. She tried to hide them and shit, but they were still there because too many people started liking shit. Facebook had their fun with stuff. But I thought that was so funny.
No, yeah, you would. You most definitely get canceled. And this is like, yeah, people should go to therapy. Like,
absolutely.
And I'm a firm believer that people should go to therapy with someone that looks like them or have the same experiences of them. So I just wanted to add that on the end. Like if you are a black woman, you probably should go to a black woman therapist, right? African American, right? Because she's going to deal with things that's very, very similar for you. If you are a black man, you probably need to go to a black male therapist. If you're a white man, you probably need to go to a white male therapist, right? You probably don't need, because most therapists, the reason why they're in therapy is because they have this idealism of helping people, right? Like the reason why majority of nurses, would be in some type of servant field regardless, right? Most teachers would be in some type of teaching field regardless, right? It's kind of who you are. So when people are in therapy, it's a lot of times they have also dealt with things. So if you find someone that's like you, it's a good chance that y'all can communicate and figure out how to work through that trauma. Hopefully you don't trauma bond, and because trauma bonding is a real thing.
Absolutely.
And I know a good bit of therapists that I would be like, whoo, boy, I do not know who goes to see this girl or who goes to see this guy, but they are therapists, and they could be good at their jobs. So I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying you probably should go. It's probably the one time you should probably be more segregated than what we are.
Absolutely. And then to all the brothers out there, please. Some of us got to start studying psychology. Some of us got to start going past and getting our masters and our doctors in this field, because it is hard. My homeboy hit me up and he said he needed a therapist. Could I help him? And he knew this because I had a therapist on my photography podcast. And I remember having her on. Shout out to Sierra, a black woman. And I hit her up. I said, yo, do you know what a black male therapists are? And she said, yo, I'm going to keep it real with you. This is a website, and I'm going to get the website. We'll put it in the comments. She said it's not a lot.
No.
And she said, and it's not a lot in each city. And she said it's tough because, black men aren't going into that field enough so that, y'all can get the help. But she said, look, check this out. Tell him it's a lot of virtual stuff. So, you can do that. But, it has to happen.
And I would recommend the virtual stuff over sitting on someone's couch. Download Talkspace. And then just put in your notes that you're looking for an African-American therapist if you're a man. And I'm saying that because this is a Black Dads Club podcast. Somebody going to clip this and be like, hey, you're such a misogynist. And then they go back to the link and be like, oh, it's Black Dads Club. But
y'all love saying that.
Yeah. But, so go download Talkspace. It'll probably work with your insurance and request, and it'll work with the EAP. And just put in the notes that you're requesting African-American therapist, because then it'll link you with a therapist anywhere in the country.
Facts. And with that, I do want to, excuse me, I had to clear my throat. I was listening to one of the other podcasts, and my voice was so weak that I told Mike, and Laws in here that I'm going to have to,
Man, you can't worry about it. First off, I hate my recorded voice.
Why?
Second off, when I'm excited, my voice goes up.
Definitely does.
I do not sound like this in real life. I'm way more smoother with the ladies than what you hear on this podcast.
He's mean. So I'm going to leave that at that. I do want to welcome everybody to the Black Dads Club. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to a couple of people. Shout out to my boy. I don't know if he want me to give his real name. Shout out to Mr. Floyd. He know who he is. I shot his wedding. He's super cool. He got two actually sweatshirts from us. So I appreciate that. Also, shout out. Let me do the hand claps. Shout out to Kayla and Steven, excuse me. They just got married on Sunday. They are the white couple that we was talking about like a couple weeks ago, who actually listens to this podcast. So shout out to them, man. Can't wait to see y'all be parents, because I know it's gonna be dope. And the kid gonna have a great food palette. It's cool when you meet like people. One of their what'd you call them? Gifts when people leave, favors. Excuse me.
Yeah.
One of their favors was seasoning. And so it was cool because it came in like an actual like seasoning thing. And I'm like, yo, that'd be dope, because they both is like in the field and culinary and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I thought and it smelled good. Haven't tried it yet, but it smelled good. But shout out to them. Also, it is the end of the year. Y'all know we try to give y'all a tip every podcast. I be forgetting. It's the end of the year. When you're out here making goals for 2023, please make sure your kids and the mother of your child or whoever is on those goals lists. I think it's super important. A lot of times we look at work, we look at physical, and we think about mentally and emotionally stuff that we're going through, and we start making goals for that. But it is always important to say, yo, where do I want my son or my daughter to be next year? Like, do I need to help? Do I want them to be further in reading? Do I want them on this certain level? Super dope. I'm doing family sessions, and one of the couples got a 3-year-old. And so I was talking to them, and he was like, yeah, currently she's reading quantum physics for babies. And I'm looking at him like,
gracious.
bro, and they black. And I'm looking at them, Mike, and I go, mind you, the wife, shout out to Tasia, she's the smartest, top 5 smartest people I know.
Gotcha.
And her man ain't no slouch. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I've been knowing Tasia since the 4th grade. But it didn't shock me that they had a kid reading that, right? And then I was talking to my boy Jamar this morning, and I was telling him like how I was just impressed and thrown by that. And the thing that Jamar, me and him started getting into, your family can't reach certain heights if you don't push them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's levels out here. We don't never want to say that because it sounds fucked up.
No, it's definitely levels out here.
And if you need to see it in plain terms, Beyonce and Jay-Z kids are going to reach certain heights because they already have $2 billion to start off on.
Yeah, right? I mean, look at Alex Isley. Like, you know, the way that she was able to break into the music industry. And, you know, like she's way talented, but, like, will we know who Alex Isley was if she was from Gastonia? No. Probably not. No. Yeah. So, I mean, no, there's definitely benefits and levels to having access to things.
And the dope part is you get to start your kids off there. So I'm just saying, create goals for your kids. The mother of your child, whether you married or not, create goals for her, even if she on your ass. Just pray. You might just need to pray for every week.
And let's make sure that we having babies with women that we want to be married to.
Absolutely, because this
women that we are married to, not want to be married to, because y'all take advantage of that. Let's make sure we have babies with women we're married to, man.
But look, create those goals. Somebody had a goal in mind, and 500K was a part of her goal. Young Miami, aka I don't even know if this story is real. Honestly, it don't matter.
You know, I found it. I mean, I read it. I don't know how true it is. They did say that she stopped following Diddy and took pictures down. So I guess they broke up.
Let me tell y'all, this story is real in my head.
But the reason why they're saying that they broke up though is because he cut her allowance.
He cut her allowance more than half. He took away, what's that, 60%? Look at me doing good math. He cut her allowance from $500 to $200K a month.
$6 million a year.
He cut it.
Bruh, there's no box in the world that I'm paying $6 million a year for.
Nice. But he get all the box he want because remember, she came out and said, we single, but we dating.
I know.
That was cold for Diddy single and he dating.
Dude, $6 million, like, and like real talk, a lot of entertainers, reason why they don't go far in music and acting is because they do this right here. Now, I don't know what we call this. I don't know if we're going to call this sex work light. But it, you know, like,
here's sugar daddy.
Yeah, but yeah, so like that's sex work light, right? So you remember the story with Hart with the $100K last year, and somebody else had paid the same chick $100K. Mm-hmm. Like that's sex work light, bro. Like, yo, I don't blame the women for getting the money, but I do think cutting it from 500 to 200. I mean, he tricked off too much in the beginning. But damn, 200, like, you know, $200K a month, you're going to be like.
So here's my thing.
I ain't going to fuck with you?
Now, all right. I wonder if this is a scenario of, I make you an employee of my company and now that's a tax write-off. Because it's certain people, and I remember Joe Budden actually shared this on his podcast. He explained how some of these guys, 1099 they woman, give her a monthly allowance, and at the end of the year, they can write that shit off.
Oh, yeah, and I definitely believe that.
So, all right, would you do that to your girl?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I had that kind of money, yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, it's tax write-off.
Look, so I wanted that now. Here's my thing. And I can't, like, I hate when these city girls, and I do have a question. I want you to start thinking about this. What age do you think city girls have to stop? Like what age do has? Just think of that. But the reason why, because
yeah, trying to get me canceled.
Absolutely, these city girls. I look at it. Nothing about Diddy and Young Miami struck me as relationship goals. Like this shit was going to last.
Yeah, nah.
Diddy only had Cassie around his arm for all those years. Then she leaves. She's doing great. She has a family. She's happy, right? Diddy in past relationship, nothing struck me as that. And if you ever hear Diddy talk, he has a God complex about him. And it's very much like, yo, you bow down, you do what I say type shit. So when I see her at the BET Awards with a football sign, jumping up and down. It's like, girl, will you be here in a year? And then when it comes out like, no, I'm single and date, we single and we dating. I took that as no, you dating, he single.
Yeah.
And y'all fucking. Excuse my language.
No, absolutely, absolutely. So, so you asked the age. Diddy left Young Miami at 28. He didn't leave her. He just cut her back. And he left Cassie at 32. So here's the thing. If you are a sugar daddy or if you're tricking out here, which is different from simping, I do believe that you do have to give a woman the opportunity to go out and find her life, right? So she has to be able to go out there and get married and have children. So what age it has to stop? I mean, gosh, you could probably, do sex work like late 30s, early 40s. You know what I'm saying? Like some women are that attractive. But I think that if you want to have a family, though, I think that as the man, you probably need to let the woman go late 20s, early 30s. I think what Diddy just did, like 28 to 32, that's probably the age where you gotta give it up.
Yeah,
you gotta give it up.
I think city girls got to start retiring probably around like 34.
They ain't doing that though.
They not, but they miserable.
That's a different conversation. That's not our show.
That is not our show.
We're not going to even talk about that.
Well,
we can talk about it on Patreon.
Look, because I was about to get into, but the one benefit women do have, they can have kids. It's up to them if they want to have kids or not.
You know what? But
they need something.
I argue against that though, because that should not be their case. Because I think it's very selfish to have a child without being committed to the other parent.
That's for the Patreon. That ain't what we're doing. I'm just saying, it is in a benefit that they can, I can choose to have a kid. I can, whatever. I can go to the sperm bank and get a kid.
They're not doing that though. They're not.
I'm not saying what they doing.
They hitting up good dudes and then, being like, I don't want to do the things that a good dude need to have a baby, which is why we tell dudes like, ovulation window, strap that shit up, pull out, strengthen your pull out game. And don't, don't have a baby with a woman that you don't want to be married to. Because I do see a lot of situations where it's like, if I have a kid with her, no big deal, but I don't want to be married to her. And that's a backwards thinking. We got to fix that.
Something you do need to fix. If your wife has a jiu-jitsu instructor, you might want to be scared. Tom Brady has not been divorced for no more than 2 months?
No more than 2 months, man. Maybe a month.
Maybe a month. Giselle is out. She living her best life.
She's out with the jiu-jitsu instructor, bro.
Yeah.
Like she just posted a video of her and this dude back in February.
Yeah.
Bro.
What's the big deal? I don't get the big deal.
I mean.
What's the big deal?
The trainer, bro. Like, it's so cliche. The woman fucking the trainer?
Well, she got money. She don't need the dude.
No, she don't need the dude, but she also doing part 2, which is she got the kids around the dude.
So you have more knowledge in this arena than me, because that's a talk that you have had to have.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: women are going to do what they want to do, right?
Absolutely.
So you can't stop the woman from having another man around your children, right?
Okay.
Now, but as men, we don't have to say, well, that's the right thing to do.
Okay,
right?
True.
That's not the right thing to do. Most men do not bring other women around their children.
I hope not.
That is majority true. Now
I'm gonna clip that. They're gonna fire your ass up.
Yeah, I don't mind, because they know that's true, because they need to chill, right? And this is not even a black woman thing right here, right? Because Giselle's not a black woman. Well, she is Brazilian, but that's a whole nother conversation.
That is. It's a little of everything
but
down there.
She's not passing
Look,
as that. She's passing as something else.
Yeah.
But, so she got this guy and the kids. She probably paid for the trip. Now, look.
Yeah, you $500 million up. You paying for everything.
Don't get it twisted. I would not mind Giselle tricking off on me, right?
Absolutely.
And I'll be around them goddamn kids. So I'm being a little bit hypocritical right here.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is, she should want to do better, man. Like, as Brady, right? If Tom Brady, probably the greatest quarterback of all time,
okay,
you can argue it. One of the richest athletes of all time, one of the most famous men on planet Earth, right? Now, look, I'm not feeling bad for MAGA hat Tom Brady. Like, don't get it twisted.
I was about to say, where we going with
I don't feel bad for him. But if he's not safe, no man is safe.
Well, I don't get the big deal. She came to this relationship with the most money. She's leaving with the most money. Let's go ahead and get that clear.
Yeah.
So you ain't the breadwinner here. Not that you need her, not that she needs you. So money ain't the factor is what I'm trying to get here. I'm going to assume both of them was faithful. Even though I do have a rule, no athlete is faithful when he playing. Like, I'm going to go ahead and kill that for y'all ladies now. I told y'all that from past experiences when I used to work at somewhere and I used to see y'all mans come up in there. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. No man is faithful, that's an athlete. But y'all keep saying that y'all want basketball and baseball, soccer, and football players.
Well, I think once you make a certain amount of money, I don't think women really mind sharing you. I think it's more speak than actuality.
That's fair. And look, all of y'all who got athlete men, y'all didn't got around me enough to know that I say this in front of y'all too. Now, I ain't gonna never out any dude that I've been around because I done seen a couple of y'all wild the fuck out.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, this ain't the Breakfast Club.
I'm gonna almost assume that she's aware of it and she allows it.
And she allows it. Yeah. So, but if anything, if he ain't cheating on her with another woman, he definitely been cheating on her with his damn job because he was supposed to retire in New England. And
we said he was wrong for that, right? Like we literally said that, like, yo, like if you promised her this, you promised that it was gonna be a family, that you are wrong for that. Like we actually gave Tom Brady the business, probably like one of the first episodes this season.
Yeah, because it was kind of weird.
Yeah, because we was just like, come on, dude, take your butt home, right? But
you should have been going home. But he probably knew bro was at the crib.
Evidently, I'm just saying that timeline, like, boy. Like, fellas, this is why I always tell y'all, man, if you leave, bro, like, yo, block her on social media, stop following her shit.
Hell no.
The only thing that she's trying, because the only thing she's going to try to do is just piss you off, man.
You don't follow none of your exes?
No. Well, I mean, no, I'm still friends with exes, but they're like women that I was kicking it with for a long time. Like, wasn't like a girlfriend-boyfriend type relationship. But, like, anybody I was girlfriend-boyfriend with, no, I'm not friends with.
Yo, shout out to all the men that still follow their exes just to make sure they're doing bad.
Man, I don't have time for that. I hope all my exes do. Some of them are actually doing really, really well.
That's good. Would you go back?
No.
Why not?
Nah. I'm not.
Why not?
There's some of them watching. No. Just gonna leave it at that.
Shout out to y'all for still being supporters.
They are, because we are friends and we are cool. And I'm gonna get ate up when they listen to this and be like, what do you mean? Girl, we talked about this a decade ago.
Y'all know what's up. Speaking of, let's transition to the Maori twin, Tia. Tia, not Tamara. Shout out to Tamara. I hope you.
Yeah, I can't tell them apart. You could have said any name and I would agree.
Nah, I just know it's Tia. I can't tell them apart. I hate when people with twins be like, you don't see the mole on their face. Like, no, nobody looking for that. They both pretty. They both look the same to me. And one face is rounded than man. If you don't shut that shit up.
Yeah. So they say she was kind of shading Corey. Now what's crazy is Corey he back working now, but she was kind of shading him. What? Hold on. The assumption was she liked the fact that someone had posted how men never financially support women, and then that makes women want to leave them or whatever. I don't think she was actually shading him per se, but I do think she feels a way and she just didn't think before she liked it. Like I think she read it and she liked it, forgetting that she's a celebrity, so her likes gonna show up.
That part, like, look. You celebrities, y'all have to realize when y'all like something, Instagram is going to make sure that either whoever is viewing it is either following you to show you that, like, let's say Mike liked something on NFL.com. It's going to show me Mike before it shows me random person 2.0 has liked it, right? Yeah. And if you're a celebrity and, you know, we crossing paths, then, yeah, you're going to show up. So that part.
But for them to write a whole article and say she got tired of paying for everything. I do have a question for the ladies that are listening right now. Right? If you're out here and y'all being little boss babes and y'all making all this money, what is the benefit of that to a man if you have no intentions of doing anything for that man financially? Like, what would be the benefit of a woman making a fuck ton of money?
Okay.
If the moment, you know, she gets mad at the man or she's no longer with the man, she's like, well, I had to pay for everything anyway.
Because men bitch all the time about taking care of women. And now you don't have to do that.
Do men bitch about taking? You know, I guess they do. Cause I didn't know it was so many of y'all shitty dads out there, to be honest. So I just don't run in those circles, man. Like, I have no problem. Like, dude, I will give my woman my last, bro. Like not like a girlfriend woman or, you know, chick that I'm hitting, but like my wife, bro. Like, I would go out there and break my back for my fucking family, man. Cause that's all I've ever seen men in my family do. You know, like, nah, like I'll go out here and work 16-hour days, 6 days a week for my woman to take care of the home and the kids. Now, there's a downside to that, right? Because guess what? I don't get to come home and rub in your butt, rub your feet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't get.
It is drawbacks.
Yeah, we don't get to cuddle. So it's like I live a life now where I try to balance that, right? Like I live a life where it's like, yo, I try to make enough money, but I also make myself available to my son and to whatever woman that I'm dating, right? Like there is a balance there. But when things get rolling, when we're into next year, if we're touring, and I'm dating a woman, I have to tell her, and I'm like, yo, like I got to be gone for 3 or 4 days. This is not me neglecting you.
If we go on tour, would you hide your girl from the audience?
Absolutely. 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 I'm not subjugating her to that. No, yeah. Yeah.
I had a conversation with my boy today, and I was telling him it was a girl who I really liked back in the day, before I got married, of course. And I remember he was like, oh, why you don't talk to her no more? And I said, she don't know how to love, and I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And he told me today, he said, yo, you said that so long ago, and it stuck with me because I understand that now. And I told him, I said, yeah, I said, unfortunately, or fortunately for me, when I was younger, bro, I used to pay a lot of attention to women who witness great relationships from women to the main man in their life. So, for instance, if I would come across a girl who mom treated her dad like shit.
Yep. You already know.
I already knew.
Yep.
And I can't expect you to do something that you never saw.
Or at least if you haven't saw it and was like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times you'll see it and you'll be waiting for her to say, like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like, my mom be doing crazy shit. You ain't ever got to worry about me doing that. Because if I hear that, then I'm like, all right, whew,
cool.
Yeah, we're good.
Happy. And I told my boy, I said, yo, it used to scare me. And I said, with that girl, she's a great girl, super cool. I said, but she knows her mom treats her dad like shit, but it doesn't bother her enough. And for me, she never saw real love in her family, and it just didn't happen. And so I was telling him, I said, what's crazy is I ran across that girl later, asking her how life is going. She's doing great. And she was like, yeah, I just had to learn how to love. And he said, damn. And I said, for me, it was like, only thing I'm thinking is, thank God I dodged that one. But yeah, man, back to Tia. This is interesting to me. Celebrities got to be careful because there is this situation of, you be liking shit. It made me laugh when, who was it? Obama had followed like Lisa Ann or Julianne, the porn star.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Like her for real?
Yeah, on Twitter. And like, I guess he didn't know that,
I gotta Google that.
Yeah, bro, this happened for real. Like, his official account was following her. It was like, wow.
I mean, that's cool though. I mean, hey, look.
Nah, it's better porn stars.
Hey man, it depends what kind of porn he likes. I don't know what Jillian. I don't know what type of porn she had, but we gonna find out while we doing the show today.
It was either Julianne. No, who was that porn star?
I'm just gonna figure out like.
Yeah, but it's Julianne is cool. Lisa Ann is better, but it was what was the girl? It wasn't even. Now I gave the wrong name. I already know it. But anyway, it's definitely better porn stars out there that you should follow. What's next on our agenda for today?
Well, I guess we were going to talk about Yeezy. We missed last week. But I think it's crazy that 40% of Adidas profit came from Yeezys. That's mind-boggling. The fact that Adidas would walk away from that, especially considering that Adidas and Puma, two companies started by brothers who both members of the Nazi Party, that them walking away from 40% profit margins, I did find that a wee bit unique. But I mean, Ye did the shit to himself. This is not going to be a pity party for Ye.
Yeah, I'm not surprised they walked away because I don't think you have a choice but to. One, because Kanye had been trying to get out of his deal with y'all anyway. So much so that he showed us the deal that y'all own every design that he brought over there. So if you could still sell it under Yeezy, let me put it like this. Kanye not making no more shoes and Adidas producing shoes if they keep the name Yeezy. All bets is off because they now saying they're not going to call them Yeezys because of association with him. I'm letting Adidas know right now. You call that shit something other than Yeezys, nobody's buying it, and you can't sell it for the same profit margin. So, but
Barack Obama follows porn star Sarah J.
Sarah J. Yeah, her and Julianne kind of look the same, but it was Sarah J. And if you look up Sarah J, if he's into that, then by all means, do your thing, bro.
Hey man, that was in the middle of COVID. He might have like.
Did you look up what Sarah J looked like?
Let me see here. She's a mature woman.
She does all the MILF shit. She cool. She got cool. Her interviews online are actually funny.
So he likes the MILF. Maybe he's there for the interviews. You know I would say with Playboy, you read Playboy for the articles.
It's like literally.
So maybe he followed her for the interviews.
It's 30 other porn stars in the MILF category before you hit.
Yeah, I would never be able to follow like porn stars I like from my official account because y'all be like, he wildin'.
When y'all find my burner Reddit account, y'all gonna be wild. Y'all gonna be laughing.
Be like, he wildin'.
Funny enough, I was in damn, this is so off key. We getting back to yay after this. I was on Reddit and some chick tried to come at me, bro, because this dude was on he was on a thread talking about how he was buying sex workers. Or trying to, but one of the sex workers told him he was too young. And he was like, he does it because he's in a long distance relationship. And I commented, I said, bro, he was 23.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, just cheat on your girlfriend. You'll be fine. And you'll save a shit ton of money.
Why would he have to cheat on his girlfriend though?
Well, he already cheating on, he buying sex workers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. He already cheating.
Well, yeah.
So he see that as being noble.
The thing was the sex workers that he was trying to hire kept telling him no because he was too young. Like they felt like he was young, so he was like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, bro, just go cheat.
How old is he?
He was 23. Might
how old
be
is
none of my
girlfriend?
story. I don't know, probably the same age. You know, dudes don't go.
And then she cross country.
Yeah, but
she in college.
It's probably
so.
She
already smashing.
Yeah,
it ain't even cheating. You're in an open relationship.
You're in an open relationship. So the thing was, this girl commented and she was like, "How could you tell this man to go cheat on his girl?" And I was looking at her like, "Bitch, he can't get sex workers. He already down." Like,
yeah. Like, bro, like, you might as well. Like, yeah, your girlfriend, 23, cross country. I don't know why men think that women do not enjoy sex. I don't know where that halo comes from. Like, we did not do this. This is not our thing.
Because we see our moms as like the only time they had sex is when we came out. Like that's really.
This is true. We do not think about, but like, dude, like, I mean, just out of all the other women I've known in my life, man, like every other one, like all my homegirls growing up, I'm like,
they nasty.
Dude, I'm like, yo, they might get it in. No, excuse me, I said might. When I was in from 18 to 22. I was not getting it in as much as they was getting it in, bro.
Facts.
I was not. Like, I'd have a good weekend, like good Friday night. I'm good to like Tuesday. Bro, they going. So
and the reason why, because especially in college, because on Monday they was like, no, we back focused on
they back focused on school.
And so on the week it was like, wow. But so anyway, going back to Ye, I'm not surprised that they did all that. But I mean, the funny part is they gonna get it back. Now, my thing is, I wonder what Adidas is going to do because we can't sit here and act like Kanye didn't say them. Before Kanye, it was Dwight Howard, John Wall, and Derrick Rose over there at Adidas not getting shit done.
Yeah, I mean, it was profit margins definitely went up. Adidas is definitely a bigger name now. Maybe that's why they're walking away. But at the end of the day, I forget who pod this was. I think it's the brother actually in Winston-Salem. But since I can't think of his name, I won't say it. But he was saying, anytime you say I've signed a deal, it's a bad deal.
Facts.
Right? Like nothing is in your favor when you sign a deal. So a lot of just complaining that we hear from entertainers and athletes, like, oh man, it was a bad deal. Well, of course it was.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. Like, the reason why they call it a deal, because it's a deal for them.
Absolutely. Facts.
It's not a deal for you.
Facts.
You should call it a fuck over or fucking. But a lot of times to get on, you know what I'm saying, that you got to take, you kind of got to take the bad that comes with it. Now, if you keep getting fucked, then again, it falls on you. We started this pod off and you was like, yo, at what age you hold somebody responsible for their own traumas? It's the same thing, Ye knew better, right? Ye comes from the music industry, right? So he was a producer, so he knows what a producer credit is. He knows what a writer credit is. He knows what a singer credit is, right? He knows how much more money he made when he started doing his own thing versus prior music. He also knows how much money he was spending that he had to take loans out against his masters and his property. So for him to do all of that, then go and sign another bad deal.
Well, he loves bad deals.
That's my point. He loves bad deals. So we can't sit here and be like, oh man, Ye, I like everybody was like, oh, this is smart of him to get out of his country. Like, bro, he doesn't think that far ahead. Because if he did, he would have had a better partnership. Like even if you look at the deal that Jordan has with Nike,
which is bad,
it is a bad deal.
Absolutely,
and he gets paid hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
Yeah,
and it's still a terrible deal. It's a terrible deal, man. It's like, I don't know. I mean, like the great philosopher said, until you're on your own, you can't be free. And it's like, we can't get that shit through our head.
Yeah, one thing about this whole Ye, Kyrie, all this conversation is like, nobody's taking a moment to sit down and say, yo, let's actually talk within the black community. Because it's a lot of arguing back. My favorite part about all this is white people ain't saying nothing.
Well,
on they Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they just sitting back like they're fighting again.
Yeah, I mean, what is it for them to say? And and it goes to like, hell, I guess we should go ahead and jump to it. We're gonna get to orgasm at the end of the pod, I guess. But I guess we should go on and jump to the ideal of that we've created this ideal of African Americans, right? Like this house of black, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this one house and all black people fall in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're starting to see that, like, no, it's the difference between an immigrant from, the Caribbean and an immigrant from Nigeria and the way African Americans are. And we have this infighting because at the core of it, we are tribal. And I think that's becoming the problem, is that we're starting to delineate, right? There's a difference between how we as men conduct ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And other men who look just like us, right? How they conduct themselves.
Facts.
But when we look at each other, we're like, oh, well, they're all black. And I don't think I probably watched way too much Dr. Henry Clark, the past 2 weeks. And he was having this. He was at the symposium and he was debating two other folks. Well, just two people. It was him and another guy on his side and two other people on the other side, and the moderator. And one of the things that he stated, he said, black isn't a proper name, and he said it's a mistake that we keep making. Right? So he's talking about the kingdoms and the nations that are coming in Africa. Right? He was like, we use black because that's a term that's been written in for us. Right? But it's not really accurate. He was like, the proper name of a people have to be related to land, history, and culture. And when we look at, do we have land in this country? Right? Yeah. We don't. We do not have land in this country. Do we have history in this country? Well, we don't have. It's enslavement and an apartheid. And then the moment we get free, we're not even getting along with one another, right?
Facts.
So we don't even have a good history. And do we have a culture? And like our culture, everything that from the 10,000 foot view down, every part of our culture really doesn't look good, right? Mm-hmm. So this ideal of being a part of the House of Black, I feel that a lot of us are pushing back from it, and we're like, nah, I kind of got to find my tribe. Mm-hmm. I got to find, my people, because the ideal of community, this won't be the true etymology of the word, but if we were to just break it down, simplistically, is community, right? So whether you use to mean communication or commonality, we don't really communicate, right?
Nah.
There's not really any communication that's going on between the men and the women in our community. There's no communication that's going on in between academia in our community and influential individuals in our community, right? There's no communication, and there's really not any commonality. Which is why when you have, the guy that goes by the name Dancing Gorilla, right, which is a Nigerian immigrant that's dancing around and making caricatures of himself as a, weightlifting black man, right? Mm-hmm. And he gets seen as black, but I look at him and I'm like, yo, that ain't none of what he's doing is part of my culture.
Facts.
Right? But from the outside, under the House of Black, we all look like we're the same. And I do think that we need to start looking at each other and decide if we want to have the conversation of, are we actually the House of Black, or is it time to break ourselves back up into the tribal people that we are? Right? Are we going to break ourselves up into the men that want wives and the women that want husbands? The city boys and the city girls, right? Is it time to come back and be tribal and just segment this thing out and we all go our own way? Because if we're talking about community and we have no communication, we have no commonalities, and we have no unity, at some point we have to stop fighting each other, and we it has to be an active ceasefire. And the only way to create that ceasefire is perhaps we do need to segment ourselves apart from each other for a while. I know that sounds wild. I know that sounds crazy, but the more and more I listen to, several individuals for the past 2 weeks, the more I'm like, I don't know. Is that the answer in our community? I don't know. You guys tell me what you think.
Well, my thing would be, if you go, let's say you go tribal. Let's say we even take this back. The problem is, for those who know me and those who don't, I went to an all-white Christian school my last 2 years of high school, right? And I say that to say my eyes was open. It sucked going there, but it was a blessing in disguise because my eyes was open to things that at the school I was going to, even though I was in a white city, it's still 30-40% black school.
Yeah.
You don't see certain things. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm talking to kids whose parents make $500,000 a year, and they don't understand, they don't understand why certain things are happening.
Yeah.
Right? I hear that George Bush doesn't like black people from Kanye West, and I find it funny because, well, the people who I hang around back at home, they don't never think that the government care about black people, but they saw that as highly offensive, right? But I remember just sitting there in school, man, and listen to everybody go around and talk about the culture and the heritage of their family. Where we Irish, we Dutch, we this and that, and then it gets to me, and I'm just black from Charlotte.
Yeah, I don't know my history. I don't know my culture. And if I did, and if I am to talk about it, right? Like if I'm to talk about, well, Mike, tell us about your grandparents. Well, they grew up in an apartheid South.
Yeah.
Like that. Like,
absolutely.
That's not really something to talk about. So it's one of those things where it's like, well, where did your people come from? I don't really know, right?
Yeah.
I started getting an idea once I got, your DNA ran, but prior to that, I don't know.
And I would love to see like the whole. That's what I need to save up for the African ancestry, man. Because I would love to know that information.
Yeah, that shit like $700 though. I would like to know.
Yeah,
too,
it is
for
like,
both, because you got to get the paternal and the maternal side done.
Yeah, and I don't know why it's so expensive.
Well, I mean, they're a small company, a private company. It's not, and they don't keep your information. So the way a lot of companies do is they take your DNA and then it becomes their proprietary information forever. So they're going to use your genome and combine it with everybody that looks like you, and then they can sell that to big pharma. They got the sales. Yeah, so like that's the reason why they're so cheap. Whereas African Ancestry and MyHeritage, they both would destroy your DNA information.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. You never know.
Hey, that's what. Look, information is about to be exposed.
Yeah.
Hope you guys didn't give your money to FTX. Your information will be.
Well, we've been told you guys with the crypto shit to be careful with it, stay the fuck out of it. But y'all didn't listen, so you at where you at.
Hey, you are at where you're at. All right, you ready to have some fun on this pod?
Where we going to? Oh, before we go there, two PSAs for my black men out here.
Okay.
Do not like in these black male groups where y'all bashing women, because that's what you're doing, and it's cool because I go to the women group and they bash men, so I'm not even gonna say that y'all wrong for what you're doing. But stop taking random women's pics and post them in the groups to talk shit. That ain't cool.
Wait. What's going on?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just grab a girl pic and then you talk shit about it, right?
Oh.
Look, we ain't talking like celebrities. I guess that's fair game because they are celebrities, but don't do this to like just random, women, man. Like even the screenshots from the dating sites, honestly, it's low brow, but I get it. That's a thing now. So you got to understand, if you put up a dating profile, you say something stupid, that shit probably gonna be screenshot and go viral.
It's definitely on Reddit.
I guess so. I guess we have to be okay with that. But for individuals that are not participating, man, like don't just grab a woman pic because you think she unattractive and then post that shit and talk shit. That has to stop. Men call that shit out. And the second thing is, I read an article on a young lady that rebuffed some dude advances in Minnesota a couple weeks ago, and the dude have killed her. All right, like y'all dudes are so bad at communicating with women and talking to women. Like, for one, man, if a woman is not interested in you, bro, just let it go.
Bro, it's so many women out here.
Just let it go. Like, if a woman isn't interested in you, and I see, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I see this all day, every day, where men are upset that they go on dates. It was probably like 4 or 5 pods ago, right? Mm-hmm. Where the dude had took a young lady out to like the Brazilian spot, and he was upset, and then like we look at the receipt, he had posted a receipt,
Yeah,
and the shit was like 4:30 in the afternoon. Like, nigga, you a lame, right?
And y'all got the food special.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? You a lame. Of course she is not a real date. She just using you for food, right? It's like, stop doing dumb shit, stop simping, stop being lame. So you don't get so much into your feelings to whereas you feel like a woman owes you enough that you want to hurt her physically.
Feeling like a woman owes you something is hilarious. Like,
It is absolutely
like, bruh.
Like,
you don't deserve shit.
Yeah, PSA, man, like that shit. And the sad thing is, I'm saying this because I'm hoping that the bros listening will take it back to those men, because those men aren't even listening to this pod.
Absolutely. You know, the tough part is we have to get into this, speaking of tribes, speaking of family, speaking of communication, you have to get into those moods of, yo, when you say something, nah, bro, you can't do that. Nah,
you can't do that. Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Now, I'll say this. Y'all going to ignore this part. It doesn't matter. My dad has been in my life before I got here, okay?
Yeah.
So, listen. Don't hold this against my father. I'm talking about some chicks, and my uncle, I remember I was saying something, and I remember my uncle, he let me get the story off, everybody laughing, and I just remember my uncle coming to me to the side and be like, nah, bro, you was wrong about that. Like, you can't do that. And I guess he understood whatever I was saying. It might have been like when I was young. I know I was in college, you know what I'm saying? But you know how it is in college. It's a plethora of women. It's not hard. You don't have to remember nobody's name because the next party, it'd be somebody there. And whatever. And he was just like, nah, you can't go through life like that.
No.
And I remember, and then he gave me a look like, I ain't even going to mention this to your dad because he already knew my pops was going to give me hell, right? And I just remember like, all right, whatever. You ain't have to tell me all that, but it's cool. And now that I'm older, I'm like, yo, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll hear like your young boys come around, or even dudes that's your age, and they'll start telling you how they treat, react, and handle women. And then sometimes you'll just be like, all right, well, whatever. And it don't never become a problem for me until one of those dudes try to date somebody in their family.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, you got to stay away from her.
And some of it is youthful ignorance. I mean, you know, when you are younger, but it does take the older guy to be like, all right, bro, you know, you going in, you're going a little too hard in the paint. Bro, you know you can't do that. Or, you know, a lot of times men remind men that you're like, yo, bro, you are getting older, man. Like, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or what men normally do is just be like, you know, if they got one dude that's just a fuck boy, is that they just be like, all right, he can't hang out with us no more. They just start hanging out without him.
Yeah, and you know, one time Ez, you good. I ain't gonna air you out. But one time Ez, I was going back and forth with somebody, and Ez was like, yo, that's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I told Ez, I said, why don't you say it in the group? So I don't seem like I'm the one person calling this person the fuck out. And he was like, all right. And then because Ez had his like, yo, that's just the one person. Let's go ahead and just leave this alone, whatever. Yeah. But nah, I'm, you know, and I've been working on my delivery with men. I know women are probably looking at it like, yo, he mean as hell to us. I'm not. But lately I have been like, yo, when I'm talking to my homeboys or whatever, I'm like trying to find a nicer way or more respectful way because, you know, it's 2022. These dudes sensitive as hell too, as we just talked about.
Yeah. I mean, dudes are most definitely sensitive in their feelings because, I mean, their dads aren't around. And a lot of them dads were around, was raised by soft dads. And this isn't a slight at anybody, but this is the thing. If a man says something to you and you want to get emotional and the first thing you want to do is raise your voice, bro, you in your feelings.
I do have a surprise for Mike. Hold on.
Oh goodness.
Hold on, man. You got your just hold this. This is my gift to Mike.
Who know you got the victory? I want you to hit the floor.
So when Mike started preaching, I officially got him shouting music on the podcast. So when Mike is about to go off, only thing he gonna have in the background is this. I just wanted to let Mike know.
I definitely needed a praise break.
Look, anytime Mike about to go off, I wanted Mike just to hear that I did put the music on.
Definitely needed a praise break.
Look, man, it's gonna be great. All right, this is the fun part of the show. Fellas, if your wife is in the car, you might want to come back to this. If she's not in the car, you can keep listening. Or if you want to let her know something, you know, without saying it, you can play this for her, starting right now. All right, Mike, let's do this.
So where are we going?
We going to sex.
All right, so The last pod, we told y'all we were going to talk about this because this dude is sitting on a pod with his woman. I don't know if they're married. And she was basically like, she never came from oral sex. Right?
Correct.
All right. So, gentlemen, the only thing a woman values more than an orgasm is safety. That's it.
Huh.
That's the only thing a woman values more than
Money.
an orgasm. It's safety. Safety comes first.
Yeah, that's true.
Safety comes first, then it is the orgasm. Then it's probably money, right? like look who Giselle went out with, right?
Oh my God.
Safety, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the most valuable thing that a woman is going to value. The second thing that a woman is going to value is, can you make her come? So we're on the pod, and the dude is like, yo, he's down there, he's eating, she's not coming. All right, fellas, part of being a good husband, part of being a good man, part of being a good boyfriend is physically pleasing your woman.
Facts.
Now, I know this sounds like, just basic shit, but like, no, like, you do have to make your woman come.
That is true.
You have to make a woman come. So we had an article, and it was like, women are not having orgasms during sex. Men can help. And it was a couple of things that I read in there that I was like, all right, we do need to mention this.
Okay. Yes.
Right. First place, foreplay. All right. Gentlemen, we have to have foreplay. Now,
ain't got time for none of that.
Now, I know some of the women that are listening right now, it's like, yeah, you need to have foreplay. Now, look, if a man has to like you to give you foreplay.
Okay.
Because he has to be into you, right? So if a dude is just like trying to smash, you probably not going to get any foreplay. Or if a dude keeps smashing you, he probably really don't like you. Like, just putting it out there. But guys, like, if you like a woman, man, you have to do foreplay. If foreplay starts mentally before it starts physically, right? So it's the look, it's the desire, it's the lusting after her, it's the compliments, it's all those things.
It's the text early in the day.
Yeah, all those things are going to get her into the mood, man. Right? And like have you ever like the hype the shit up so fucking high, then when you get to the house, you be like, God damn, I'm not ready to do all the shit I was talking about today.
Then you start drinking and then y'all fall asleep. That's the problem.
Like, I'm not here like, oh man, like I really talked this shit up today.
Yeah.
All right. So the good thing is if you're into foreplay, right? You've worked up mentally, and you've overpromised. So by the time you get there, if you actually get into foreplay, the kissing, the caressing, the light hand, small of the back of the neck, middle of the back, elbow, lower arm, pull into you, like all these things, right? To get her ready for you. And then if you actually move forward towards oral sex, right, which is, kissing her on the nipples, down her belly, into the box, you're gonna need about 15-20 minutes of that, right?
Shit.
It's not
Oh, hell nah.
not 2-3 minutes of it. And then look, this is what y'all do, right? Y'all go 2-3 minutes, and then you go put your dick in her face, right? You're like, okay, me next, right?
Where is it at? Hold on.
We can't do that. We can't do that, fellas. Like the ideal is to pleasure and please her. All right. So after you do this and you get her warmed up, there's techniques. Like, look, man, it's a whole Pornhub out there. All right. But find out how she wants to be eaten out,
or ask her if she likes that.
This is true. Not every woman likes it.
Absolutely. I had one girl, she was fine as hell. I never slept with her, so I don't know why I said I had her, because she could probably listen to this like, this nigga lying. But it was a homie, and I remember we was having a conversation about sex, and so I said something about going down on chicks. She was like, yo, I hate that shit. And I was like, really? She was like, I can't come off of it. Most dudes don't know what they're doing. It's kind of like, and then her thing was, I allow it because some dudes get off on it.
Yeah.
She was like, but if you ask me, I'm just like, let's get to the other shit. So please, first of all, a lot of this shit we about to talk about can be cleared up if somebody started asking questions.
Yes, and I was about to say, so even for her, right? She was like, "Yo, I just do it for them." Like she has to vocalize it. But if she don't vocalize it, then guess what you should do as a man, right? You should be like, "Hey, I noticed that you ain't really getting off from this. What do you like, right?" And then do what she likes, like whatever it is. Like, oh, I want my hair pulled, or I want a finger in my butt, or I want to be smacked. Like whatever it is, just be like, all right, I'm gonna do that then, right? Because my goal is to make sure that you receive pleasure. Like part of being a good man is absolutely being a good lover. Like, you can't just be a warrior.
Because you will get replaced.
You know what I'm saying? And just be like, yo, I'm going to go out here and I can knock heads off. Part of it is like, yo, you got to knock the box out too, bro. Like, you got to do both.
Or you're going to get replaced.
Or you're going to get replaced, man. Like, the ideal is to be way more James Bond than Conan the Barbarian. Trust me.
Absolutely. And I know, shout out to one of my other homegirls. She straight up told me, she was like, yo, this dude is a good dude. He's nice. He a little too cocky, and his sex ain't good enough to be that cocky. And she dropped that nigga. And she sent me the text message. This dude was in her DMs like, yo, please, we need to work on this. She was like, nah, it's not good enough.
So she said she told her that.
No, she was telling me that, but I'm like, are you gonna tell him?
Yeah, you do. Women, y'all do have to tell men that when our sex is trash. Now, men, okay. I would say we should have to tell women, but don't do that because that shit never gonna fly because she's never gonna say it's her. But if you realize what you like, you'll find women that give you what you like. But we're talking about us giving pleasure to the women. The whole point of what I'm saying today is part of being a good man is absolutely being a good lover in bed.
Facts.
Like, you have to be a good lover in bed, man. And a lot of times we're not good lovers in bed because we're dealing with too many women, right? So we really don't like anybody.
So experience does not make this better.
Experience helps technique, but it doesn't help effort.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes effort, especially when you start getting older, man, like you can't slay several in a row anymore.
Hell nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you start getting older, it's like, yo,
your shit start hurting.
I got a good one in me, and I got to make sure I get that good one to the chick I like. Absolutely. So part of being a good man is being a good lover and finding out what she likes in bed. Something that, a lot of fellas may not know is like, tongue technique matters around the clitoris when you're giving oral sex. That's going to be different sort of for every woman because every woman is kind of built a little bit differently. So you do need to understand. A little bit differently. Shit. Yeah, you need to understand that as well. And the last thing that men need to understand is that when you're having sex, you need to know what makes her come because
you're gonna get replaced.
You are gonna get replaced, as Gavin keeps saying.
Yeah.
But because some women need more stimulation during penetrative sex than other women for whatever reason, because anatomy is crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So if she needs that, you need to know that, and then you got to figure that shit out. You got to figure out, all right, well, how am I gonna give a stimulation? Because a lot of women don't come from penetrative sex. A lot of women don't come from sex at all. Yeah. And I don't want men, like, you're already dad, so we know you're already boinking out here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get good at the boinking so we get, like, and being good at sex sometimes helps you get other shit done in life. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So,
what Future said, damn. Oh, I gotta find that line.
Well, Bobby Brown said it best. Getting women is how I live.
Yeah, Future got an amazing line. Oh, you fucking me good, you helping me win. Yes. When I heard that line, I said, oh, this nigga is a philosopher. Like, that is the greatest line of all time.
Yeah.
You fucking me good, you helping me win.
You are. You really, really are. And the thing is like, yo, if you're doing that, like, yo, she's gonna be way more pleasant. Now there's a downside because when she ain't getting it, she gonna be mean as hell. Tell you that too.
Yeah.
Because she gonna be like, yo, I can't really get this anywhere else, and you being a jerk, so she gonna be super, super mad.
And then you gonna get replaced.
You still gonna be able to hit though.
Look, and I say it like this, man. I think we are getting into a place, we not that far off in age, but maybe like for our parents, it was a little taboo to be talking about sex, especially at certain times of a relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like now you can get away with, I think more women are understanding, especially mature women, when they know they're talking to a mature man. They know that, hey, just because we're talking about sex don't mean that we're obligated to have sex.
They're obligated to have sex, so we're gonna jump into sex. And that is also, point is that if she's like, yo, I'm celibate, not having sex, she don't even want to discuss it. Like, yo, you're not gonna be happy there, man. Move on from it.
Yeah.
Like, move on from that shit.
But what I was getting at, and I thought you was gonna say this episode, because you usually go with it. Y'all need to figure out what she into and what you into, because y'all might not need to be there.
I'll try not to go there today. But that's an absolutely good point. That because we're talking about her, so you do need to know what she's into. Like certain women like to talk during sex, or they want you to like talk to them in a certain way during sex, in ways that you never talk to her, in the streets, right?
Yeah.
But that turns her on. So like, honestly, bro, we got to communicate. We got to communicate with the woman that we're boinking.
Yeah, there was a chick who I knew, I never have sex with her, but she used to love to be disrespected, and I was like, yo, I'm not comfortable.
You're struggling with it?
Yeah, because I'm not calling you a dirty slut, bitch, all this shit while we messing around. Like, it just threw me off. I wasn't into that. Plus, I was young.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
When you're young,
But
it definitely,
And shout out to her because she's married with a kid now.
Yeah,
so
having dirty sex.
I know what that nigga's saying to her.
Oh yeah, like, he is getting it in.
I sent her picture to Jamar all the time because Jamar, when all this was going on, I was like, bro, she want me to call her this, and he thought it was the funniest shit. He was like, man, I love to do that shit. And every time Jamar sent me her picture, he was like, yo, what you think he called her today? And I'm like,
y'all funny.
Jamar, I'm gonna stop throwing you under the bus. Sorry.
You do, but luckily he has an awesome girlfriend.
Yeah, shout out. And I told Jamar today he need to go ahead and get married.
He do. He got a good girl, bro.
Yeah, and y'all been dating too long, so you might as well do it.
Your boy is really throwing you up under the bus right now.
Yeah. What is too long to be dating somebody before y'all need to get married? First of all, get married when you're ready.
Yeah, get married when you're ready. Too long to date. I don't know. I'd probably say like 4 or 5 years. I think that's too long.
Yeah.
At our, even in your 20s, it's too long.
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 years, man. Like, yo, shit, get off the pot. For real.
Yeah, shit'll get off the pot. I like that.
Yeah.
What you got going on this weekend?
Not too much, man. I had a busy weekend last weekend. Me and Kiddo went to see Black Panther.
Ooh, what you think about it?
It's very gynocentric, but it was cool.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. It's definitely worth watching. Definitely the tribute in the beginning to Chadwick. You know what I'm saying? It'll kind of make you a little misty-eyed, but I was a G. And then they did it again at the end. And it was just like, all right, man, y'all got to chill.
Y'all got to relax.
And it definitely, fellow South Carolinian Chadwick, it definitely, it offers perspective. You definitely wish he was still the Black Panther. Mm-hmm. They could have did a better story for the Black Panther series, but they wrapped up Chadwick from the previous Black Panther, so I wasn't mad at it. Like the way that they really wrapped it up nicely from beginning to end.
I'm glad, even though I haven't seen it, I'm going to see it this week. I'm glad they didn't, and maybe they did this in the movie. They didn't replace him, I'm assuming, right? But
no, he hasn't been replaced yet.
Some movies they do that. Somebody passed, or we get in contract disputes, and immediately what we go do, we go find. Let me tell you now. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not trying to be funny. What is this hilarious? If Michael B. Jordan didn't play Killmonger in the last one, he would have definitely been a new Black Panther. There's only like 5 black people that we put in movies.
What I do like is here. So to that point right there, if Ryan Coogler is not the writer and the director of Black Panther, then Chadwick probably is replaced.
Oh yeah,
and this is why representation matters. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because someone understands the sensitivity. Because it wasn't just Chadwick family that was hurt because he passed, but it was like black people collectively, right? Because this was finally a superhero movie for us, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, as black people, we're just like, yo, come on, we can't even get a superhero movie. Like, we lose the Panther. So if Ryan Coogler isn't there, then he probably is replaced. It probably is, another
black dude with a bald head.
Dude that's placid as hell, that's not as noble as Chadwick, because all of Chadwick movies had purpose and meaning to it. So I appreciate, even though I you asked the first thing and I said it was very gynocentric. It was. We can't take anything away from that. That it was that way. Yeah. But what we got to understand is that if Ryan isn't there, we don't even get that. It is probably Superman like. You know what I'm saying? Like how the Superman movies were, where none of them are really connected.
Nah.
And that's how Black Panther would have been. And I love the interconnectivity. Ryan did a great job. So no complaints, man. Go see it.
Look, I'm going to go see it this week. I got to figure out a day my nephew is available because he going to be hot.
Yeah. You be in mad trouble, man. My son, speaking of which, so my son, it was like an attire, like an event thing for the one we went to. So you either had to wear African garb or like all white. Yeah. So we went to a little African store. I couldn't fit anything because I'm fat fuck. But my son, like, I get him like this nice clean white shirt, it's like this African shirt, and he was like, yeah. And then he was looking at another one, which was like this real colorful, like kente cloth or whatever, right? And I was like, you like that one? He was like, yeah, he liked that one even more. So he gets his African garb, he puts it on, and he looks up, he's like, yo, can I get the hat? And then I was just like, I get the hat and I put it on, and, he's dressed in his African garb. And just like, as a black man, that made me so proud, man. Just like my son, he's into that. So then I was fuck with him. I was like, you want to wear it to school? He was like, nah. So
come on, man.
Yeah, so it's funny that here he's 8, right, and he still understands that, like, yo, in America I got a code switch. Like,
yeah,
what can you do?
Code switching. We need a whole pot on that.
Yeah, we do.
But we gotta make sure you're gonna be good at work. Or we can't talk about jobs at all.
Exactly.
Look, man, I want to thank y'all for listening. Make sure you tune in every week. We coming every week. Please share this with 3 dads this week, or just 3 black men. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And shout out to all white listeners. Y'all be on YouTube supporting, which is amazing.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all. We be following into y'all timeline. I think this is a period, man, where men are trying to seek out, how to become better men, and like, and I don't even want to say like more masculinity, but we are in a society where it's like the only people that are being put forth are people that misunderstand masculinity. So we have to like, kind of come back in and be like, all right, no, this is what masculinity looks like. These are the men that we're attempting to be. These are the men that we strive to be. These are the boys that we're raising in society, and get rid of this lack of masculinity that's running around masquerading as manhood. So
Mike is hilarious if y'all didn't know. And with that, we're gonna holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.